It's 2026 and you guys are looking to start a fresh new business, a fresh new organization, a fresh new brand. Well, so am I. So stay tuned. This channel is going to be specifically on building my own brand, building my own company to the fullest extent. All right. So basically, everybody, first of all, I just want to say welcome everybody to the channel, to the start of something pretty spectacular. All right. We are starting from fresh scratch, starting from nothing, and we are going to attempt, actually, fuck that. We're not going to attempt, we are going to build a brand, my personal brand from scratch, and we are going to build that shit until I don't want to anymore, bro. I've been kind of just in my own bubble, letting years go by, don't have any real, life goals like, 2025, we gotta do something great, bro. But nah, I kind of just float around, when the years go by, and 2026 is my year, man. It's my turn. So what we're going to do today is we're going to start a clothing brand, my clothing brand. All right. First of all, just imagine yourself starting a brand that's in your name, a business that's in your name, right? And to go out and whatever your business could be, it could be a drop shipping business, your own personal brand. It could be, just whatever you're good at and what you want to pursue. I think that's what you should, start with right there. Find out what the hell that you like. For me, I love clothes. I've loved clothes since I was clothes and art. I mean, I love to draw. I love to, design. I just love clothes. I don't know. I love clothes. So if I'm like, all right, I love clothes, I love designing clothes, I'm going to make my own clothing brand essentially, because if I love what I do and I'm good at it and I pursue it, you can't fail. And no matter how many times somebody in life says, it's not going to work out or it's all luck, I'm telling you, when I'm looking at you, it is completely the opposite. That all being said, that all out of the way, like I said, welcome. This is the first episode. Yes, it's an episode. This is going to be a series of videos building up my own personal clothing brand, and just essentially making it into a fucking empire, dog. Imagine that. So you know what? Here we go. So let's go ahead and start with a couple things. All right, so we are on my computer, we are on my desktop, we are at my, I guess you could say, bedroom, but it's, it's my office. All right, we're going to call it that, because, it just sounds cooler, okay? We're in my office, we are at my setup. First thing we want to do, okay, you want to start a brand, okay, well, you got to have a good brand name, you got to have a good logo, and you got to have, good designs, you got to have good products, right? You don't want to sell some dog shit products that nobody's going to buy, bro. And I noticed a bunch of like brand owners, especially smaller ones, everybody's trying to make it out with whatever, you just got to have good product, right? Obviously. So you got the name, you got the product, obviously, the logo. You just need to start your business, right? Start your business. All right. Well, I've made up my personal brand that I have made. It hasn't officially dropped yet. I don't know when it's going to, when we're going to start, start selling our actual product, right? Because we're just starting, right? We need to find, we need to learn how the business works. That's the first steps. So what I want you to do for the next, I don't even know, month, year, days, hours, I don't care. What I want you to do is nonstop. Go grab you a nice little fucking notebook and start taking notes. Watch videos. No matter what business you're doing. For instance, we're gonna stick to clothing because that's what this channel is about. Clothing brand. All right. How do I start a clothing brand? What do I need to do next? I'm taking notes. And I'm about to show you guys. Hold on. as you can see from my personal experience, I like through all out fucking high school, bro. I was ass, dog. All right, I was little cheeks. I never studied. I never took notes. I never did shit, bro. But this is where that time comes, bro. And this is, I'm telling you guys, I hated I hated note taking in high school. That shit was ass because I didn't want to do that shit, right? But notes are actually very essential for learning, bro. Write shit down, get it stuck in your brain, because you're not going to want to forget any of the, key factors that are needed in a business, right? You got to learn and you got to know what you're fucking doing, or else you're not going to, how are you going to become profitable? And that's the thing with a lot of brand owners, right? They're going to be like, oh yeah, let me just go and start this brand, right? Let me go get a hoodie, grab a shirt, slap a logo, slap a name, and then just sell it, right? They don't know how to market. They don't know how to get eyeballs to their website. They don't know, like anybody can just go make shirts and make a store using AI, Shopify, and just boom. I got a store open, guys. Come buy it. Like, nobody's buying that shit because you got to be professional about it. You're a business owner, right? You have to actually engage with your company, engage with what you're doing, and, it'll come. But anyway, like I said, here we go. This is my folder. I keep everything, like, brand related, I guess, documents, as you could say. So, basically, what I have is just all of my notes that I've taken so far, right? We got 10, I don't even know if you can see all that. We got a whole thing of notes. This is 10 pages long, so, and I'm not done there either. I mean, you got to learn so much every day, and it never stops. You never stop learning. But yeah, basically, essentially, what these notes are good for is, if you're, say, like, I mean, I can't even get into all this stuff because we're on episode 1 and we're not ready for that. But yeah, basically, for instance, right here, I took all these 10 pages are just about one topic, and that's a clothing manufacturer. This is all about all these pages right here is talking about everything you need to know about working with a clothing manufacturer. So I know pretty much most of the basics of, how to actually work with a clothing manufacturer. But then, yeah, right? Let's go ahead and just talk about the brand that I've made, right? So let's get to that. The brand that I've created, right? The name, the logo, I'll get to that in a moment. But yeah, the brand name, introducing Morgoo. Morgoo, okay? Morgoo. Morgoo. I don't know if y'all can see that. But yeah, so to pick out a name, you want your brand name to have, some spice to it. You want it to stand out. You want it to, just think about how other people would say your brand name, right? Like, let's just say somebody's walking around and compliments your own shirt brand, right? Or be like, just think of how people would say the name, like, yo, dude, those are some nice Morgoos. Like, what size are they? Or like, yo, dude, you got the new Morgoo shirt? Oh wait, you got the new Morgoo jeans? Those are fire as hell, dude. I'm gonna have to go get me a pair. What's the meaning behind your name? I mean, I don't know if all brand names have meanings, but I feel like I would want my own company, my own brand, my own name to have a nice story to go behind, the clothes. Like, oh, I'm going to go buy this guy's clothes because they look cool, but, oh wait, they have a nice little story oh wow, who's the owner? Who is this guy? Oh wow, this guy's a pretty cool guy. I'm going to buy from him. I'm going to buy his product pretty often now because 1, he's dropping good shit. 2, he's a cool ass dude. And 3, he just has a cool story behind his brand. That's just cool as hell to have. But, my advice, if you want to start your own clothing brand, is to literally, if you guys have nothing, right? Because starting your brand takes, a lot of money and time, right? Nobody says that you can start a clothing brand with $0 because that's impossible. You need a decent amount of money before you can start, because you got to buy equipment, you got to buy, bulk order, like your first couple bulk orders, you got to buy a bunch of apps, you got to buy a bunch of stuff. So basically, if you guys have nothing and you guys are just starting out, my best advice for you is to get paper and print out whatever you want to make, jeans, shirts, hoodies. Go print out on a piece of paper an outline of it and just start designing your brand name. Just start making cool shit, right? And you're going to be stacking those presets all the way up until finally you're ready to reach out to a manufacturer to get your product made for you. So, if you think about it, if you keep making a bunch of designs that you love and you already have a lot of presets, you can be like, oh, like you wouldn't have to like worry as much as like, yo, I need to hurry up and make, some design just so I can sell it. We didn't even talk about our logo. Okay, so yeah, you want to have a creative logo. You want to make sure like, when somebody sees your logo, you're like, damn, bro, like you got that shit on, cuh. You guys are kind of getting like a little sneak peek of what, some of the majority of the product is going to look like once it's finalized and ready to be shipped out. So let me tell you guys where I'm at right now, okay? All I've done right now, I've made my brand. I've made, the name for myself. You're ready to make, are we ready to make product? Like, what's the next step? All right. Like, I can show you, we've made the website, or I guess we haven't made the website. Let's go ahead and go to our search here. All right, so next thing what I have done is I have opened up a Shopify store in my name, right? So we have our shop right here, Morgoo, opening soon. Sign up for our newsletters to be the first to know when we launch, right? I'm going to change that to SMS, so that way it'll be sending you text messages instead of emails. One thing I did learn about actually making a bunch of sales and what carries a lot of, your sales is SMS. SMS letters, sign up with your fucking SMS, or get people to sign up with their phone number, because they will be continually getting reached out to and getting hit up with essentially more offers of your product, right? All right, so now that we've made a store, right, it's not open yet because we have no product to present or sell. So what do we need? Well, all we need now, right, we got the shop, we got the name, we got the brand. Now we just need to make the fully finalized products. Alrighty, well, there we go. We got our shop, created. We made our store. Now all we need to do is, finish up finalizing, and, I got to finish up, we already on a great start. We got big plans, boys, in 2026 is what I'm trying to tell you. First episode already in the books. We've already made some good progress, and it's time to keep grinding. The grind, this shit don't stop, buddy. Be sure to check out Morgoo once the store finally opens. I don't know when that will be. Obviously, whenever I'm ready, I get the product and I'm ready to go. But thank you guys for tuning in. We will be dropping probably episodes very frequently, boy, because we aren't stopping this segment, bro. 2026, that shit's gonna be lit. But yeah. Anyways, dudes, like I said, if you guys have enjoyed, make sure to follow me on all socials, because we're trying to grow, we're trying to go strong. Later, we up on that Morgoo.